Both looked round, but did nothing until Mr. Gerhardt motioned him towards the front door when her husband wasn't looking. Go in was the effort of her gesture. Both went in, and then Mr. Gerhardt dared to leave her work and follow. The children stayed a while, but one by one, and they slipped away, leaving Gerhardt alone. When he thought that time enough had collapsed her wrist in the interventional, Jenny had been hastily coached by her mother. Jenny should go to private boarding house somewhere and send back her address, but shouldn't accomplish here. But she should wait a little way off the street, and he would follow. When her father was away, mother might get to see her, or Jenny could come home. All this must be personal until they could meet again. While the discussion is still going on, Gerhardt came in. Is she going? Bea asked harshly. Yes, answered Mr. Gerhardt. With her first and only note of dispute, Bas said, "What's the hurry?" But Gerhardt found it too mightily for him to mention it on any further remonstrances. Jenny entered wearing her one good dress and carrying her valise. A tear was furry in her eyes, for she saw facing through fiery ordeal, but she had become a woman. The strength of law was with her, the suffered patience, and the rolling sweetness of sacrifice. Silently she kissed her mother while tears fell fast. Then she turned, and the door closed upon her as she went forth to new life. And the chapter 10. The world into which Jenny was thus unduly thrust forth was that in which virtue has always been the struggle since time immemorial. For the virtue is wishing well and doing well into others. Virtue is that quality of generosity which offers itself willingly for another's service, and being it is held by society to be nearly worthless. Sell yourself cheaply, and you shall be used lightly and trampled underfoot. Hold yourself dearly, however unworthily, and you will be respected. Society in the mass lacks value in the matter of discrimination. Its one criterion is the opinion of others. Its one test, that of self-preservation. Has the preserved his fortune? Has she preserved her vanity? Then, on the rare incidents which rare individuals, there seemed to be any quieting light from within. Jenny hadn't sought to hold herself there. Anything feeling her made for self-sacrifice, she could not be readily equated to word, readily corrupted by the world's self-restrictions, and hope to preserve oneself from the evil to come. It's such an supreme in the moments that growth is greatest, it comes to be the best to reach this feeling strength of sufficiency. We may still tremble, the fear of doing virginity may linger, but we grow flashes inspiration, come to guide the soul into nature. There is no outside. When we are cast from the group or a condition we have is still companionship. All that is, nature is not ungenerous. Its wind and stars are follows with you. Let the soul be but gentle and receptive, and this vast truth will come home, not in sad praises, perhaps, but as feeling a comfort which, after all, is the last essence of knowledge. In the universe is wisdom. Jenny had hardly turned from the door when she was overtaken by Paz. "Give me your grip," he said, and then seeing that she was dumb with untrainable feeling, he added, "I think I know where I can get you a room." He led the way to the southern part of the city, where they weren't no and of the door of an old lady whose parlor clock had been recently purchased from the incident firm by whom he was now employed. She was not well off, he knew, and had a room to rent. "Is that room yours still vacant?" he asked. "Yes," she said, looking at Jenny. "I wish you would let my sister have it. You are moving away, and she can't go yet." They already expressed and willingness, and Jenny was soon temporarily installed. Don't worry now, said Buzz, who felt rather sorry for her. And this will blow over. Ma said I should tell you not to worry. Come up tomorrow when he is gone. And Jenny said she would, and after giving her further oral encouragement, he arranged with the old lady about board and took his leaves. It's all right now. It's all right now, he said encouragingly as he went on. As he went out, you will come out all right. Don't worry. I have got to go back, but I will come around in the morning. He went away and put the stress of it blew lightly over his head, for he was thinking that Jane had made a mistake. This only shown by the manners which he had asked her questions that they had walked together, and that in the face of her sad and doubtful mood. What would you want to do that for? And didn't you ever think what you were doing here? Persisted. Please don't ask me tonight. Jenny had said, which put an end to the sharpest form of his queries. She had no excuse to offer and complaint to make. If any blame attached, very likely it was hers. His own misfortune and the family's and her sacrifice were alike forgotten. Left alone in her is strange about Jenny gave way to her sadness feeling. The shock and shame being banished from her home overcame her, and she wept. I thought the naturally long-suffering and uncomplaining disposition and the catastrophic wind of all her hopes was too much for her. What was his element in life that could seize and overwhelm Wednesdays as great wind? Why the sudden tradition of death shatter all that seemed most promising in life? As she thought over the past, a very clear recollection of the details of her long relationship with Brenda come back to her, and for all her suffering, she could only feel a loving affection for him. After all, he had not deliberately willed her any harm. His kindness, his generosity, these things had been real. He had been essentially a good man, and she was sorry more for his sake than for her own, that his end of had been so ultimately. These cogitations, while not all resourcing, at least served to pass the night away, and the next morning back stepped on his way to work to say that Mr. Gerhard wished her to come home and same evening. Gerhard wouldn't be present, and they could talk it over. She spent the lonesomely enough, but when night fell, his spirit brightened, and at 7:15 she set out. There was much comforting news to tell her. Gerhard was still tearfully angry and after jet mood. He had already decided to throw off the place on the following Saturday and go to Youngstown. Any place being better than Columbus after this. He could never expect hold up his head here again. His memories were odious. He would go away now, and if he succeeded at finding work, and the family should follow a decision which meant to be abandoning after the time. He was not going to try meet Murtry Jaunty house. He could not hope to. At the end, Gerhard took his leaves. Jenny returned home, and the fourth time the least restoration of the old order, condition which the course could not endure. Both saw it. Jenny's trouble is the possible consequence waited upon him. Disagreeably, Columbus was no place to stay. Youngstown was no place to go. If they should all move away to some larger city, it would be much better. He pondered over this situation, and hearing that manufacturing boom was in Cleveland. He thought it might be wise to try his luck there. If he succeeded, the others might follow. If Gerhard still worked in Youngstown, as he was now doing, and the family came to Cleveland, it would save Ginny from being turned out to the streets. Buzz waited a little while before making up his mind, but finally announced his proposal. I believe I will go up to Cleveland, and he said to his mother, evening as she was getting supper, why she asked, looking up the uncertainty. She was rather afraid the bus would desert her. I think I can get work here. He returned. He opted to stay in this. They're not all the abundance where she returned. You're probably, oh, I know, he said, but enough to make anyone spur. We have never had anything but rotten luck here. I'm going to go, and maybe if I get anything, we can all move. We would be better off if we would get some place where people don't know us. We can't be anything here. Mr. Gerhardt now listened with his strong heart for bitterness after miserable light creeping into her heart. If was would only do this if he would go and get work home. And here rescue and strong bright young Semites, what a thing it would be. They were rapids of life which was moving towards the Rift Pole clemently. If only something would happen. Do you think you could get something to do? She asked interestedly. I ought to, he said. I have never looked for a place yet that I didn't get it. Other fellows have gone off. They're doing all right. Look at the Millers. He showed his hand into his pocket and looked out the window. Do you think could get until I try my hand up here? He asked, I guess we could, she replied. Papa's at work now and we have some money. That she hesitated to name the source. So ashamed was she of say their predicament. Yes, I know, I said, but grimly we won't have any rent here before fall, and then we will have to give it to anyhow. She added. She was referring to the mortgage on the house which fell due at the next September and which unfortunately could not be met. If we could move away from here before then, I guess we could get along. I will do it, said, but determinedly I will go. Currently, he drove his place at the end of the month, the day after he left for Cleveland.